I hate the flag of Belgium. Here is the better alternative we are not using. This video was sponsored by Flagmaker Print, the world's first free online flag making and printing service. More on that later. I am Vincent, a graphic designer and illustrator living and working in Belgium. Belgium is a great country to live. It has affordable healthcare, great education, and a somewhat competent government. There is just one problem. I hate the flag of Belgium. Now, the discerning vexillologist may blink at the statement. Vincent, you might say. Palas of black, yellow, and red reminiscent of the French Republican tricolor. Far from ambitious, but ugly? I would call this flag ugly, esteemed viewers, especially because in the Constitution itself, our flag has the absolutely bizarre ratio of 13 to 15. I feel that the Belgian flag, much like the country itself, was designed almost as an afterthought. While a new flag will not solve the problems of our federation, I do believe it will at least provide a more sensible aesthetic for 11 million people and the seat of the European government. In this video, I will investigate the origins of the Belgian flag, analyze it to ultimately explain my choice for an alternative flag of Belgium. Those familiar with the history of the lower countries will not be surprised, as this is a flag that we have used historically. If you are tight on time, you can also see a summary of the video in my pinned comment and description. You are a busy man and I respect that. To start off, I want to give a little history on how we ended up with a monstrosity now flying from our flagpoles and how we can do better in the future. Despite popular belief, Belgium was not formed by the British over afternoon tea. Our formation actually dates all the way back to the Roman era, as the first instances of the Belgic tribes, or the Belgae, were noted by Julius Caesar in his book The Gallic Wars. After the collapse of the Roman Empire, Belgium popped on over into the Carolingian Empire, after which Belgium was formed into Burgundy. When Burgundy collapsed, Belgium and the Netherlands moved on over into the Holy Roman Empire. Here we find the first notions of the Netherlands as a group of French, German and Dutch cultures living in the coastal areas between France and Germany. The need to build dikes to protect these delicate coastal areas is one of the origins of our unique political consensus model, sometimes referred to as the polder model. The distinction between Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg came later, but for the sake of argument, we will consider the lower countries as a cultural and vexillographical whole which should be represented as such. Through inheritances within the Holy Roman Empire, Belgium and the Netherlands ended up as crown property of the Habsburg Austrian Empire. At that time, we were known as the Austrian or the Habsburg Netherlands. It is from these Austrian Netherlands that the first indications of state flags from the Netherlands come from. Shown on screen are the flags of the Austrian Netherlands, the first official indication of vexillology from the lower countries. You will notice the current day Netherlands flag is a blend of the traditional Habsburg and Prince's flag, leading to the fesses division the Dutch flag uses today. Luxembourg uses a similar, although slightly brighter variation. Notice the difference with the Belgian flag that breaks this trend with reckless abandon. I am a strong proponent of the vexillological rule, be distinct or be related, and preferably both, with an emphasis on the be related part. This is done well in other parts of Europe, but the ball is dropped by Belgium in this regard. Remember this point for later. First, it is important to discuss the schism between Belgium and the Netherlands and the resulting cultural differences. In the 1500s, Martin Luther proclaimed the Protestant Reformation, leading to a massive break in the Catholic world between the traditional Catholic Christians and the Protestant Christians. This schism was widely embraced by the Netherlands, but rejected by the faithful Catholics in Belgium and Luxembourg, leading to the basis of the later Frenchified elite and the split with the Netherlands. As the Nordic countries, Germany and the Netherlands moved closer together culturally, Belgium and Luxembourg stayed behind, with the Catholic world in France and the south of Europe. This cultural difference would become very apparent during the later 80 Years' War, where the Protestant Dutch declared independence from the Catholic Spain crown, then ruler of the Habsburg Netherlands. While the Dutch fought a grueling war for independence against their oppressors, the Belgians did nothing. Support for joining a Protestant rebellion in the north was low in the southern Netherlands, and kept in control by Catholic preachers promising eternal damnation for whoever joined the Protestant rebellious lot in the north. In the end, the Netherlands would lose the southern Netherlands in the war, leading to the United Dutch provinces in the north and the Spanish Netherlands in the south, who later formed Belgium. Belgium would not gain her independence until much later, after being conquered by Napoleon in the French Revolutionary Wars. After a spectacular defeat at Waterloo, Belgium was reformed as a province of the then enlarged United Netherlands, strengthened with British approval to be a buffer state between France and Germany. Being ruled by a Dutch elite was not to the tastes of the Frenchified upper class of Belgian society, who, in the end, revolted to form their own Catholic Belgian state. After a successful revolt against the Dutch, the Belgians reformed as the Kingdom of Belgium. Belgium has always been quite the chimera of a country, a Dutch, French, German state. Ruled by a French elite, Belgium was actually assigned a German king upon formation. Men refused the crown of the small and insignificant country, but the crown was eventually offered to Leopold I, who would go on to become the first king of the Belgians. Leopold I was a British-backed candidate, for he had married into the British royal house, and the Belgian National Unity government sought a candidate that would balance the power influence of France, Germany, and Britain. Fun fact: Leopold I actually refused the crown of Greece before becoming king of Belgium, and it is a good thing that he did. The crown went to Otto von Wittelsbach instead, who was deposed after 30 years, while the House van Saxe-Coburg continues to reign over Belgium until this day. Belgium finally adopted the black, yellow, red flag we know today, in the style of the French Republic, with colors based on the Duchy of Brabant flag, the first instance of an independent Belgian state, as it were. So there we have it, esteemed vexillologists. We have learned the lessons of history, and they say the new Belgian flag should have the colors black, yellow, and red. It should have historical significance, have some form of relation to the other lower countries, and should preferably not be terrible. Delving through this history, I went looking for a more sensible alternative for a Belgian national flag, solving the problem stated above, and then I found it. Esteemed vexillographers, I present to you the better alternative we are not using, the new flag of Belgium. Brabantine Revolution Flag, used by the short-lived Belgian states, is a perfect fit for a more modern Belgian flag. The flag was originally constructed around the colours of the Duchy of Brabant, which formed the basis of the later Belgian state. Nowadays, the flag colours are said to represent the three language communities of the Belgian Federation: black for German speakers, yellow for Dutch speakers, and red for French speakers. Historically, the flag also makes much more sense, as it is the first indication of the Belgian states in history. Even though the Brabantine Revolution was short-lived, it is still the proto-Belgian state and the first part of our genealogy as a nation. The fesses division also better represents our monarchic traditions. all countries with traditional monarchies in Europe have preferred the classical fesses division. The Palace French-style flag really isn't my favorite, as it represents Belgium as an offshoot of the French Revolution, which it really is not. Belgium was founded foremost to form a Catholic French-Dutch state independent from the Protestant Netherlands, and we aren't exactly a French-style republic either. By simply replacing the order and alignment of the colours, we can keep the traditions of the Belgian flag intact. No longer will Belgium be the off-brand cousin of France and the Netherlands. This flag design represents Belgium better as a part of the lower countries, being both distinct and related. I hope you found this video interesting and informative. If you are interested in visiting Belgium, I can warmly recommend the classic medieval cities of Ghent, Bruges and Ypres. Swing by our southern provinces for Liégeois-style meatballs, or visit Brussels, the capital of Europe. Thank you for your time, and until next session, vexillographers. I thank you for reaching the end of this video, esteemed vexillographers. If you would like to join our community, hop on over to our Discord and participate in our monthly flag design competitions. Visit flagmakerprint.com to use our free online flag making tool and print your own custom designs. We are always looking to improve our online flag maker application, so we would love to see you in our Discord for bug reports and feature requests. I also run a second YouTube channel called Kaisergat Cinema, dedicated wholly to developing the alt history world of Kaiserreich. If you are into world building and alt history, come check us out.